wants to talk about that, but I'll just hold your fire on the. We're going to get to Sydney in a minute. I want to take up one more issue.
Yes, go
on the retirement of Justin Madden, and that is, of course, he relinquishes his position as president of the Players Association, and Peter Mann here, seen on screen from the Fremantle Dockers, is mooted to be a contender to take it over.
That's an interesting choice, really, because he's over in West Australia, where I mean, 10 of the clubs are over here, so he's a long way away to, you know, to keep coming over for those. They have a meeting once a month too, don't they? And so
I've never been to one. Geelong has.
No, neither have
I. Who was the Geelong delegate, Couchy? Well, obviously it wasn't you.
I was, and I turned up.
They were against it for a long time.
We were against it a long time.
It cost them $80 a year, and that's why they were against it.
$80 each?
Yeah, a year.
Peter Allen used to come down and have the talk and abuse. He'd walk out halfway through the talk. It was a shock on it.
Do you think it's a good idea?
I think it is now.
Well, why didn't you then? What made
well, I was only a baby at the time, Ron, and you don't like to speak up when you're probably been there 1 or 2 years and not knowing the system and what's going on. I sort of left it on for later years to actually have my say, and I think it's a good thing. I think the players have got to get more powerful. I certainly agree on that, and they've got some issues there that really need to be said. And
power needs a bit of wisdom to handle it, doesn't it? I'm not saying they shouldn't have more power.
I think they've come a long way. Like, they have helped in the contracts, insurance for players. If they get injured, they get 30 match payments if they do get injured. And I think that's a good thing in insurance, where clubs were very ruthless. Like, they'd say, look, you got to play for the club and all this, but the clubs were very quick to get rid of blokes and draft them, whereas they've given a bit of insurance. If they do get dropped off the list, they still get repayments for the next, say, next 10 or 20 games.
Mind you, when a club did that, they were doing it for the club, not for any personal or an individual within the club. That is what a club is supposed. The club isn't there for a player.
I certainly agree on that part.
It's there for the complete team.
There's no loyalty or anything?
No loyalty,
is that what you're saying?
Ron, there's no loyalty.
Well, I mean, what do you call loyalty? What's the definition of loyalty?
Loyalty is Paul Couch, Mark Harvey played
what about your loyalty to
all their life?
supporters?
All their life.
Loyalty to supporters.
Never left. That's what loyalty is.
Loyalty to supporters.
And had offers from other clubs to go. Or the whole footy club I'm talking about.
No, but...
Are you talking about a money issue?
Not necessarily, but probably money. But doesn't the committee owe loyalty to the fans? It's their club.
Yeah.
And the fans don't they want the best team?
But what if
That's what they're there for.
But what if somebody gets injured halfway through the year, does his knee, and he's committed his whole self to league footy, hasn't worried about a career?
Choice, by the way. Free choice.
Yeah, but we've all got free choices in life, haven't we?
Exactly.
And if you do, now, Ron.
No, I understand it.
And reconstruction, and he's got nothing. He deserves some compensation, doesn't he, for risking his body?
Oh, sure.
Are we getting paid too much, or are we getting paid less?
Well, look, I don't care what you're paid.
Well, that's fair.
No, as in, I think you should be paid as much as the game can afford. And if I was confident that the players' unions' representatives had that same view, I wouldn't. Look, I don't care if they get $1 million a week, if the game can afford it. And they should stop looking at the American system. We've been through this before, haven't we? They should stop looking at the American system.
That's what you get for sitting in the colo chair. Ron just lectures you.
Because
you pay out for 5 minutes.
the top part of football over there doesn't give not a zack to the grassroots in America. American football has no opposition to speak of in this country, apart from being a 20th of the size in population. We have enormous things. So don't ever hear me...
Yeah, look, I
you won't ever hear me quoting an American and say, well, live in America it happens. Doesn't mean to say...
Hopefully money gets tipped back into the country where it all starts. And where we get recruits. And the city.
Ron.
And the city.
And Sydney.
Ron.
Sydney or
End of lecture. Can I just say... well, can I just ask you, because you've probably been asked a million times, so you should have a set answer for this. But
100 times.
Were these issues you grappled with back in 1964 when you left Melbourne to go to Carlton? These issues of loyalty and money and what the game can afford and stuff? Because you started it all.
That's the greatest lot of cods of all time.
And that's the answer you always give.
That's a quick reply.
He's trying to save time. Was there a real grapple for you?
Every player should be loyal to the club that's paying him at the time. Loyalty is portable. You leave because you get a better offer and you take it because, let's say, even just for your family, let's say that was the case. You change and you are loyal there. And this club here gets a player, and because of what I just said, he is loyal here. So the club really hasn't lost a thing in loyalty Now, do you want loyalty? You're talking about loyalty or stupidity, by the way.
I know you've
they
been stupid
play.
a few nights. Yeah, we're stupid.
So the player knocks back a huge offer.
But you were saying about loyalty to the club.
And the fans.
But
The fans. Didn't you?
You said the fans.
Didn't you owe something to the
You're
Melbourne
taking loyalty
fans?
to Ron Barassi
Look at
now.
all those kids with
Sam
31 on their
Malcolm
jumpers.
Bloke would have had a lot of trouble with you.
He did all the time.
You too. But what about your kids? You wanted something better in the way of an education for your kids.
So what about the kids?
So if you stayed there at the cheaper rate, much cheaper I'm talking about,
Cheaper rate.
you'd be being disloyal to your kids.
What about the loyalty to the
No, hang on.
fans, though?
No,
You
well, you
took-
answer what I
said
just
the fans.
said. Would you be being disloyal to the kids?
Your own kids?
Yeah.
What about the fans?
Well, come on.
No, no.
Oh, so you're not disloyal to your own kids.
No, you know, if you've got an opportunity to improve the situation for them, yes, you'd take it.
Well,
But,
that's what I'm talking about. Well, so it's one loyalty versus another. It's as simple as that.
yeah, but sure.
Anyone can see that.
But you,
Even this guy.
But you can make some. You can still make some compromises and look after your family adequately, and stay at Melbourne and keep all the fans happy.
That's what we're getting at here, the fans. The club.
No, not in my case.
Because what if the fans suddenly take on your concept of portable loyalty and decide to move to other clubs?
I tell you, I wish they would.
What?
I wish when you...
We're really at him.
I wish out in society, when a guy changed his job, I mean, and he's been loyal to one firm, but he gets a better offer, he's now foreman instead of the leading hand, or whatever, over at his new job, when he settles in, he becomes very strongly behind.
Oh,
I mean, we just went through all that.
I know, I agree with you.
If that's the principle, loyalty is portable but important. It doesn't matter if people go back and forth.
He's uptight today, isn't he?
I know what he's